So, fired up enough once again to make another recording. It's been, 24 hours since the last one, okay? Today is Friday. Just a few days after that impactful Tuesday election where Trump got in smooth as could be. They called the election that night. They didn't hesitate. Now, of course, I have a lot of sources that feed my brain with thoughts. So I don't want to be a parrot. I don't want to respond in a way that sounds like I'm just repeating everything I've heard. So I'm going to really go out on a limb here. And I don't know how to get the words together correctly. But ultimately what it comes down to is that maybe it's possible that the inner workings of our Justice Department has a plan that is the biggest chess move the world has ever seen. It's a plan that basically plays in to the United Nations and the European, I can't even say their fucking words. The European Union. And ultimately, what America has been working towards through what seems like deception or backstabbing and internal fighting and all this stuff. The reality is that the Clintons, Hillary in particular, and Trump and Biden and even Obama, they're all in on it. They're all in on this plan together. They understand that this is the move that has to be made. This is the 4D chess. And what is that, of course? Well, it would be that they're putting on a show. They're putting on this idea that the country is in cahoots with itself. We are stuck with a lot of internal things that are causing division and thought, that the society is basically falling apart. There's some inflation going on. There is basically a country that has the appearance of falling apart. But that's actually the plan. That's actually by design. And they don't even want the people to know that that's the design, because it would then it wouldn't work. So if you want to talk about a conspiracy theory, this one's pretty crazy, okay? But what I'm ultimately saying is that they're all working together, and they're doing it in a method that is to undermine the plans of the New World Order. They're using our politics, our political system, to ultimately present to the world that we're still in turmoil. When in fact, we are in total fucking control. We are in total control. And the people of this country are working as agents unknown to themselves. They don't even realize that they are agents of this plan to reestablish America as the stronghold of the world, really. I know I'm not being very clear right now because it's hard for me to be clear on this. I mean, either you understand what I'm saying immediately or I'm going to have to break it down. And obviously, clearly I have to go with plan B here. I have to break it down. And I don't even know exactly how to do that. But ultimately, what I'm saying by showing the United Nations and China and other countries like even Russia for that matter, and the Middle East, and Israel, that we are weak and confused and lost. It's allowing them to think that they have reign. And they begin to perform in ways that expose their true nature. And I'm not going to pick on China and Russia and the Middle East. I'm going to pick primarily on the United Nations, which has been using and abusing American taxpayer money for decades. And so they're exposing themselves. They have been for a long time. But now it's like we've got like an official track record of their behavior. We can see what their real plans are. Pushing migrants into our country as they're accepting migrants into their countries. And their goal is to just wash out citizenship. Their goal is to destroy citizenship and patriotism. And America is built on patriotism. So by demonstrating their behavior, by exposing their behavior, our approach to their behavior is going to shift radically now that Donald Trump is back in office. World War III averted. Other countries in the Middle East or desires from China are also diverted. I have a pretty strong fucking feeling that Israel and Gaza are about to wrap things up because Israel's going to realize that their fucking game is over. Because our funds aren't going to continue to funnel to them. There's a lot of, I don't know if I should call them double agents. They're just backstabbing pieces of shit that are in our government right now that are still backstabbing and refusing to work with the desires of the people that voted in Donald Trump. Which brings me to this point now that is not necessarily completely in tune with what I'm really trying to say here, but it's something to consider and it ties in a little bit. And that's that, why the fuck are the Democrats being so willing right now to be smooth and easygoing with the results of the election? Oh, we want the smoothest transition of power. We want nothing but Donald to get in with his cabinet and his administration, and we're not going to put up any roadblocks at all. We are the dignitaries of this country. That's what I hear from Biden and Kamala. But then I also hear from people like, I can't think of their names because I don't know if that's exactly who I saw today. But if the person I saw today is the person I'm thinking it is, his name would be Christopher Wray. And he said that Donald Trump does not have the power to kick his ass out of the CIA or FBI, whatever the fuck he does. I don't know. And Mayorkas, probably Alejandro Mayorkas or Alexander Mayorkas, whatever, he probably has the same arrogance about him as well. I wish I was more clear on these things, but I'm not like Alex Jones or Candace Owens or Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson with a bunch of paperwork in front of me. I'm just rambling off my mind right now. I don't have a team of people putting articles in front of me. I'm just basically taking this information that I'm listening to and I'm piecing it together into my own personal thought. And that is ultimately that we might be America itself, the general population is the queen on the chessboard. And we don't know it. They won't tell us that, because if they tell us that, the arrogance of our society will devastate the chess moves. But we are definitely in a form of psychological warfare. And because conventional war is nothing but absolute obliteration and devastation to the entire planet. There's no coming back from nuclear war. There's no words for that. So to avert nuclear war, they have to approach the rest of the world in a different light. And so therefore, they're making us look like we're tearing each other apart and on the brink of civil war, this, that, and the next thing. But the truth of the matter is that we are actually more united than we'd ever be willing to even understand. And most of all, why can't I put these words together? We just can't give up the faith. Okay? And I'm not talking religion here. I'm just talking about the faith of ourselves as human beings under the sun. And that maybe the CIA and the FBI really are not the bad guys that we are led to believe they are. Maybe there is a plan going on that is intentional, and it's meant to put off an image that everyone is performing. We're all performing this image. We are making the image real. Whether sadly we don't like it, but that's the biggest part of the image. That's the biggest fucking part of the image. And the image, the purpose of this image is to ultimately disrupt the New World Order from taking over America and our Constitution. It's almost like, please continue to talk, you NWO globalist fucks, you World Economic Forum faggots that want to try and dictate to us what your plans are for mankind? Go ahead. Expose yourself to the whole world. Tell not just Americans, but tell the world how we're going to be eating bugs and we're not going to own anything. You Charles Schwab piece of fucking shit. And George Soros with all your stupid nonsense continuing to infiltrate our cities with planned riots, paid for riots. They're the suckers. Maybe they are the actual suckers that are the people of America are the bait on the hook. And the people of the WEF and all the rest of these pieces of shit like the CDC and the WHO, they all think that they're gaining power. They think they're gaining power. And they're taking the bait. While in the meantime, they're really just telling all of us who they are. And that's exactly what the plan has been all along. Agenda 2030 is a thing. It was Agenda 2020 or Agenda 21, but the 21st century came and now we're fucking 25 years into it and it didn't work out for them. So Agenda 2030 is their new plan. And that's not the only plan. The CCP, they've got their 100-year plan. And these plans are real. Just like Mao had a plan to teach one of his youngest generations to basically eventually just kill their fucking grandparents and turn the country into a disaster. I'm referring to China, of course. But that's what Mao did to China. He had the youngest generation flip on their own families and willingly kill the elders to make way for a new agenda. And America is aware of this. And maybe we aren't the fucking biggest assholes under the sun. And they have to do this. They have to do this. They don't have a choice. There is no easy way around this. It's at the expense of our peace for a short period of time. And if that, by short period of time, I mean even 20 years. But that's nothing in comparison to hundreds of years. And we're only a couple hundred years old, but we've got the rest of existence to continue to be this country and hold on to our freedoms and our Constitution. And so ultimately what we're doing is the citizens are making a benevolent stand. Even though the stand itself is actually planned by some very smart people in the CIA and the FBI that really do care and love this country. And they do not want to watch it slip away into the hands of a new world agenda. New world order, I should say. But regardless, it's all the same shit. So these are my thoughts for tonight. I highly doubt that some of you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Others will be like, I have no idea what the fuck he just said. And that's the way it is.